Hey, how's it going? Before we get into my interview with Darnell Cole, I want to let you know about a few cool things coming up. My trio is going to be playing at the NAMM Show 2023. That's going to be on Friday, April 13th at 5 p.m. at the Hilton Rinkus Hines stage. I'm super excited about that. Let me know if you're going to be there. I'd love to connect. I'm really looking forward to NAMM 2023. Also be on the lookout for some merch. I'm finally getting some merch done, and so be on the lookout for that. That will be a humongous help if you want to support me, support this channel, support more interviews with independent artists, with more of your everyday musician that might not be on the Billboard Top 100 list, but is living their dream, creating music. I think that is the kind of music that we need to be more exposed to, and just know that it's out there, be able to connect with these communities, people that follow independent artists, independent blues artists like Darnell. I'm super excited for you to get to hear this interview. We talk a lot about what it's like playing blues in the 2020s. We kind of run the gamut on going down some rabbit trails here. And without further ado, here's my interview with Darnell Cole.
Made so many friends and stuff as Porcelain Hill when that was a thing. And now that band's ended and I've kind of gone on this solo route, you know what I mean? It's so interesting for me, just because I'm like trying to like offset. There we go. Because for me, it's been it was a smooth transition as one can be, but it also is such a big transition. You know? And so it's cool to just stay in contact with people and like know that like there's still a lot of support out there for it and stuff. And like I'm just excited to get back out there and show them a lot of this new stuff, man, because it's got some good stuff coming, man.
Yeah, dude. So I started following you from that, and I saw you, but I don't think we talked or anything. But I definitely remember seeing you at the Vintage Guitars booth at NAMM last year.
Yeah, man.
So it was just like, it was a funny, full circle deal. But so it looks like, so now you're kind of doing your own thing, more in the blues soul vibe. I went and watched.
It's been, so basically what happened, like, bands, like they come, they go, things happen.
Yep.
Like I was hoping that it would have been a thing, but just, it was time. And so it was right before we had this UK tour in August at the time of 2022. So I made some calls. I had some friends out that way just from touring out that way before, and it really ended up working out. So I had a band and everything. Like within 24 hours, I had a band. I had subs. My homie Tito from Buddha Jones and the Man. He does a studio, Brass Plate Studios. He let me cut like 3 songs over there, and he helped me out. So I had like a little EP that I could take on the road.
Yeah.
And, it was songs that just needed to come out, On My Own, which is one of the singles that's out right now. That was on there. There's another one called Hold On for Tomorrow. That'll be dropping later it comes out with my album release, but as far as online, it'll be later. And then, Like a Stone, which is one I'm still trying to revamp and revisit and make a little better. But
Gotcha.
I took those out there, and, with Porcelain Hill, it was it was a heavier blues. It was like a Sabbath type of blues, a Hendrix type of blues, but like Electric Ladyland, it's just like got this raw sound to it. And there was this whole like Tedeschi Trucks, Allman Brothers vibe inside that I was like, I need to get this stuff out, that I didn't, not that I didn't get to express it with Porcelain Hill, because like there was songs that we had Light On, we had Love Right Now, and those songs are kind of in that vein. But this was like, not necessarily softer, but just like more meaningful for me. And so I was able to finally write that. And this album coming out, it's a good mix. It's definitely, comparatively, it's not like as hard and raw, but it's more refined, I think. And I think people are going to dig it. I think they're really going to be surprised with what comes out, man.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, I saw that you had posted on Instagram, and it's just kind of funny the way this all worked out when my buddy Michael said like, hey, do you know this guy? You should check him out. And I was like, oh man, totally saw him at NAMM when my trio when we played last year. And so I saw that you were announcing this album release. And so I was like, well, dude, I've been wanting to get you on here, and I'm trying to, I want to get more people, especially independent artists, especially blues artists. I mean, I'm pay the bills by doing songwriting, do more sync licensing things. And, that's more my trade, and then doing session work and stuff. But then for fun, I have my blues trio, and I'm like, independent blues is there's a whole thing out there. There's a whole scene out there, and the more people can get connected, and I think is a good thing. 100%. And so unfortunately, we're playing NAMM on the 13th on Friday, and so we're playing at 5.
You're good, bro.
So we're playing early, but dude, yeah. So I'm excited about the album release. So what is that show on the 13th? Give me the rundown on that.
So first, we're gonna go and catch you guys at 5 o'clock. That's the first thing that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then the show starts at 6 as far as like doors and all that stuff.
Okay.
I think the first band's on at 6:45, but we're gonna be at the House of Blues in Anaheim. So, and it's in their parish room, which for those who haven't been to the House of Blues, or at least the one in Anaheim, you have 4 spaces. You have like the kitchen, dining room kind of area, which is usually more loungy. You have the whatever room it is, foundation. Yeah. And they got like this whole like Buddha statue. It's tight, and awesome. It's small. That's like 100 person or like, I don't know, 60 person capacity type area. You got the main room, which is like 2,400 people, something crazy. And then there's the parish, which is where we're gonna be at, which is tight. It almost looks like a confessional type thing. Like they got the stained glass.
Oh, sick!
High ceilings. It's like 300 something capacity. We're trying to sell this bad boy out, so I want all the listeners, get yourself some tickets. Come say what's up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially to what you were saying about like independent blues and stuff. Like, I think that it's a resurging scene. Yeah. There's a lot of and especially like kind of here in California, like, or at least soul is, and I think blues is always been tagged with that.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of artists that are coming out, and like the more that you do this, the longer you do it, the smaller that circle gets, and you're like, oh, I've seen you, oh, I've heard of you, oh, I've checked this out, so I don't know, I really want my music to just bring people together and realize that we're more connected than we are divided, and that's kind of the path that I'm on with this stuff, man. So I that's why I appreciated when you reached out and you're like, hey, do you want to be on this? I was like, I'm down, man, let's do it.
Dude, yeah, that's, I mean, the thing at the end of the day, like, that's what it's all about. I'm all about, not to get too, hippy dippy here, but I'm all about being present. How can I be more present? And I think that is finding other people that share the same passions as you, that are only things that bring people together, like blues. I come from Memphis, and that's where I cut my teeth on Beale Street growing up, and so like the blues is my passion, and I get to do music for a living, but the purest, more bluesy thing is always just a part of who I am. And
well, it's visceral, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's the heartbeat of music, at least modern music in a lot of ways, modern Western music, and then like you have like this whole thing, not you, but like there's this whole movement right now with AI, right? Like everyone's talking about AI this, AI that. And I think the arts, I think people in general aren't really, I don't think they've fully wrapped their minds around like what this is going to mean for people, right? Like we're going to become not just niche necessarily, but delicacies, right? Like this music is man-made. Yeah. Right. This show that we're gonna go watch is live. Like it has such more meaning now and much more value. And so the more raw and the more real the music is, I think the more it's going to mean more than it already does. And we need to be there for each other and for that. One thing I've always been about is artists supporting other artists, and trying to catch shows. And if you can't catch a show, share a show. If you can't share a show, like a thing, comment, things that all help us out. Like whenever any of my friends drop songs, I always at least stream it. I put it, stream it, put it on repeat for a little bit, try and get them, something. Cause it's the little things that as artists, like it all helps. And I think one thing that's going to need to happen in the music industry is we're going to have to be more supportive of each other. And I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I think to be a musician in today's climate, I think you got to be a little hippy dippy in some way.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
But I think that the more that happens, the better, because I really do think music is a thing that's going to save the world, man. I really do. For me, I very much cut my teeth in the South as well. I mean, I'm from Southern California, but I really don't consider myself a guitar player until 2016, when I had to jam songs I've never heard of in New Orleans in order to get my band to play.
Nice. Yeah.
We went in this club, Vaso on Frenchman, and they were like, yeah, you can sit in with the jam, and then if we like it, then we'll get the band in. I was like, all right, that sounds like a plan. He's like, cool, you ever heard of the Chicken? I was like, nah. He's like, cool, you'll learn it. I'll tell you the numbers. I was like, oh, the numbers. All right, I'm going to figure that out too.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool, we're doing it. But from that though, like, and now, I've gone international and stuff, and it's like, everywhere I go, you have these people from these different walks of life who are into different things. I've had people who are hardcore gamers. I've seen people who are just, they're the bar fly regular. I've had people walking off the street, they're lawyers, whatever it is. And they're all enjoying this music in the same way, and letting loose, and not letting what they do or who they think they are, masks them up and be this person. They're just living and existing with other people. And like, I don't know, there's something beautiful about that to me, man. That's why
absolutely.
I want to see that happen in just a much bigger scale worldwide, man.
Absolutely. I mean, it's, at the end of the day, music is healing, and that is super cheesy, but it's real. It's it's a real thing. Music makes you feel things, and getting down to some of the most stripped down basic things, which I think is what blues is all about. It's stripping it down, and it's all feel.
Yeah.
Live and die.
Oh yeah.
Groove. And it's just feel, it's just emotion, and it's raw, and that's what that's what moves me deep.
Well, it's good because you said it right. It's music that you feel. It's not music that you listen to.
Yeah.
If you listen to Joe Cocker live Woodstock '69, right?
Yeah.
That timing is wild. That timing is wild. You're not placing that on a grid, right? It's supposed to be in a 6/8. It's in like a 6/10, bro. Like, it's just it's everywhere, But it just feels good when you hear it. And I love the videos where they isolate his lyrics and like show what it sounds like, and he's like talking about like he lost a leg, and like Fred and Wilma is great. But like it takes you on this journey emotionally and spiritually, and that's what the best music does. And I think a lot of people are looking for music like that now more, because so much music for the last like 10-20 years has been designed to be successful, not necessarily good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's no disrespect to artists that create music of a certain genre or in a certain style. Like, there's artists that I'm not necessarily a fan of that are talented musicians, and talented songwriters for sure. But what they're putting out is more geared around being successful music than it is about being good music. And I mean, good music is subjective for sure. I'm not, I'm not trying to say that I'm end all be all of music by any means. But there, you can tell when someone put their foot in it, And
like there's music serves so many different purposes. Different kinds of music serve different audiences who have different needs. Like I pay my bills recording and writing guitar parts for people's albums, and writing songs for people, and selling them. Like that's and there's like this mystique that comes with music, that it's like all about, I don't know, it's all about the emotion, and it can be, but also it can be not that and still be valuable, still be good. But the difference is like, I think that you also have to do things regardless whether they pay the bills, regardless of if anybody will ever hear them. Like there are plenty of talented raw emotions in songs that never leave a bedroom. But that's that thing is what it's all about. And at the end of the day, you know, being an independent artist, being an independent blues artist, I think it is about being really in touch with, this is what I have to do. I have to get this emotion out. And this is the vehicle that right now makes the most sense. And that's super cool, man.
There's a saying that my brothers told me before, and it was, those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind, right? And it's kind of like that with music, because I think I always relate music to food a lot, you know, and there's a difference when you're making your partner a meal versus if you open up a restaurant and you're serving the customers. You know, like if you have this restaurant and you're putting it out there and you're trying to just feed anybody off the street, you know, to earn money or whatever like that, it needs to just be the standard. Like, no one's going to care about the story behind it or what ingredients in it. They're hungry, they're on the go, they got to do what they got to do, you know. But when you're preparing a meal for your partner, like, the ingredients matter, the time matters, things just matter a little more. And I think that depending on the type of music that you're trying to put out and what type of relationship you're trying to have with the world in regards of your music, right? I think that shifts how you approach it, because if you're trying to feed a community, you know, of people and build a real connection, I think the more authentic you need to be. If you're trying to be known in a community and have fans and have, you know, people who support you, but in a very, like, I don't want to say superficial, but kind of a superficial way, like, then that stuff doesn't matter as much, because those are things that they don't care about. You know, but to some level, and I mean, there's obviously, you know, there's a spectrum with that, because you're going to have people who gravitate towards your music because there's the realness in there, and I think, you know, in the same way that even if you're using fast food or something like that, it still has to be sustaining in some level. Whatever you're putting out musically needs to have some sort of emotion, and that's why people go to it in the first place. It can't be devoid of, or at least it shouldn't be, I don't think. But I think that the more you get to that musician that's just getting their feelings out in the room, I think the more you're getting to real connections with people. Because, like, that musician, when they share their song with somebody, finally, like, that's going to be a much deeper connection than when, you know, A-list artist drops their song for billions of people. Like, and not that people can't connect with that, but the level of connection is going to be different. And it's a weird balance, I think, that we have to ride as proprietors in this industry, for sure.
Yeah, dude, I think that's an intimate connection. That's an intimacy that you have. Frankly, you got the top of the top, and then you have people that are doing it not because we are getting unbelievably filthy rich by it, but because we got to do it.
Yeah, it's something inside.
There is not another option. It is a creative at heart, and that's what I kind of see with you. I hear in your music, it is all about feel, and it's all about doing it. I mean, that's the thing, is like, at the end of the day, you're doing it, you know.
I do it because I have to, like you said. Yeah. You know, I remember I used to busk, right? So this would have been back in, I don't know, like 2009, 2008. I used to busk in front of this, like, a Ralph's or a Kroger if you're on the East Coast. And, you know, I'd sit outside with my little case and just play. And I remember this woman, she came up crying one time. She put like $100 bill in. She was crying. I was like, what's going on? Like, yeah. And she was like, no, she's like, that was my husband's and mine song at our wedding. I was like, oh. And she was like, he just passed away, like, you know, so ever long ago. She's like, I needed to feel him. And I was drawn here, and you're playing the music. I was like, oh, well, I'm glad I could help. Like, I didn't do it on purpose, you know? And she was like, no, she's like, you have a gift, don't stop. And that moment kind of set the bug for me, because it was when I realized, like, you know, this is medicine for people. It can very much, like, as you said, it's healing. And I just remember trying to keep that the focus. And when I would see it, when I would connect it with someone, and I could almost, like, feel them leave their worries at the door, you know. Man, I was like, I feel like there's no greater thing to do. Like, yeah, like, I'm an EMT. I've done Uber. I've worked way too many jobs. Way too many jobs.
Yeah.
But being able to help people in this emotional way and be a wizard of the emotions, as I like to think musicians are. Like there's something about that, and to quote Uncle Ben Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. Like I think a lot of times as musicians we get lost in the sauce of the industry. It happens for me all the time where I'm like, oh, I got to do these posts, or oh, I got to make sure there's this many songs, or oh, I should release it this way. And it's like, I just need to make music that's good, that's real, and people that need it are going to get it and they're going to vibe with it. And if it grows, it grows. And I'm just trying to do that, I guess, realistically.
Dude. All right. So for anybody who is watching this, you need to go back and re-listen to everything that you just said, because if that's not inspiration, that you made this intimate connection with somebody who lost their spouse, and it was so healing that it's you said it's like medicine, and I can tell that it's medicine for you.
Oh yeah.
It's medicine for you, the same as it's medicine for everyone who gets to hear the music, experience the music, get lost in it as a creator. And I know that I share in that same experiences, but I can tell that you've got it, and you just can't stop. You got to keep going. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Got to keep going. You got to do it. And if you're doing it,
living the dream, man. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
And I remember I got in this conversation with this dude one time. His name was Ronnie. He's out in England. He's at this band. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't say that because I just can't remember the band name now.
It's all good.
Oh no, they're good. They're like one of the best cover bands ever. I'm gonna pull them up while I talk about this.
Yeah, do it.
Because I gotta remember him. He's gonna kill me if I forget. But he was like, how do you define success? And I was like, well, what do you mean? And we were talking about that. The Reformers. That's the band name. The Reformers in UK. Check them out. Sorry, I forgot, Ronnie. Anyway, he was like, we're talking about success and how we define it and what it means. And I think, success is however you want to paint it. But there's definitely levels to it. Because when he asked me, it brought me back to this time, a story within a storyception, that my friend Jordan was talking to me about. Why do I feel like I wasn't as happy as I could be? And I was like, well, I'm just not doing what I want to do. So what do you want to do? I was like, well, I want to pay bills with music. Like I want to be performing live and doing that. He's like, well, aren't you doing that? And to be fair, I was. Like, that's all I was doing. I cut my living expenses, so I had small bills, so I was paying them with music, but it wasn't to the degree that I wanted them. And so when he had asked me this, when Ronnie asked me that, I was like, wow. I was like, how do I define the success? Because it's not. I can't just say it's this, because there's layers to that, and the more detailed you describe it, the more detailed it is that you can get it. And you have like an artist success, you have personal success, you have financial success, like all these different variables, in there. And it made me really think about what it is I'm doing musically so much more. Like, because now I can look at it and go, well, financially, no, I'm not necessarily where I want to be with music, but that's going to come. That's fine. I'm there as a songwriter. I keep hitting the goals I want to hit. I want to write a song that does this. Like I wanted to write a song in 3/4 or 3/8 or whatever it was, and I did. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Now it's like I want to do something that it's a little more poetic, or a little more this, and now I'm reaching those. So, for people listening who feel like, it's success is so unattainable, break it down into like different chunks to different areas of it. Cause it's as much as we are one human body, we're made up of billions of cells and several organs and a couple different systems, you can't look at it all as one. Dude,
I mean, you hit it on the nose there. It success is a sliding scale, and success is going to be different for every person. It's going to be different for the same person every month, every year, and it's all about setting goals. This is not at all what I expected to get into today, but this is my favorite thing about one of my favorite things to talk to people about, is just being honest with yourself and being able to be present in life and be satisfied with where you're at.
Yeah.
We're so caught up in the hustle and comparison that I do think it's harmful to your mental health. I think that that's almost inarguable. But at the end of the day, it's about, can you look at the success that you've had honestly? Can you look at the success that you've had in a positive way? And I think for a lot of people, myself included, that is very difficult because it's always, but this other person, but I want, you know,
it's a stealer of joy, man. Comparison is a stealer of joy. I don't know who said it first,
absolutely.
But the other side of that too is like, so people are only, I don't knock people for only posting the highlights, right?
Yeah.
Because like realistically, those are moments you're happy. Yeah. Those are moments you're feeling good. Those are moments you want to share with others.
That's the moment
life is hard enough already. You don't want to be like, oh man, everything sucks. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then the other part of that too is like, I feel you. There's a lot of times like people are like, oh, so what do you do? And I'm like, music. They're like, cool. What's your real job? I'm like, no, that's it. Right? How I approach covers, right? Like for a cover song, what I mean is, no one cares if it's note for note. Some people might, but really, there's bookmarks, right? Like you need to have maybe this motif, this thing there, and then insert amazing solo or insert this groove, and then keep going, right? But it doesn't need to be perfect. And it's the same thing. Like when people are like, oh, this person, the greatest. No, they put what needs to get there. Like they're hitting bullseyes every time. Derek Trucks is a perfect example. He plays to the song.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think there's ever been a song from Tedeschi Trucks that I've listened to where I was like, you know, I would have done that a little differently. Like, no, like,
yeah.
I'm like, that's what the song needs. Like, sure, I if I was to cover it, I would do what I could, but like that is the way the song needs to be. And I think a lot of times, going back to what you're saying about comparison, that's what we do as musicians. We look at these other musicians, we see their success, and we see what they're able to do. But like the truth is that we have the same ability sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
We have the same ability to tap into the feelings for sure, but we just don't know how to do it yet. And it's a lot similar to speaking. Like we all have a voice, we all have our own way of speaking. We can all say the same words. You know, we can all articulate the same ideas. Can we articulate it with the same amount of ease? Can we, you know, draw from a broader vocabulary? Can we, you know, apply it in more pertinent like spots? Those are things that are variable. And like, because when I look at a good speaker, I look at them the same way that I look at musicians. Yeah, I feel like it's the same type of skill.
Man, I think that's right on the money. At the end of the day, it's about finding your voice. That's why there are impressionists, and there's people who are really, really good at having the same voice as somebody, the same as you can learn somebody's song to play it for yourself, with your band, to track it. But you can get really, really good at finding someone else's voice and being able to replicate it with your own hands, speaking, whatever. Or you can find your voice, which sounds a little bit like this person, a little bit like this person, influence from, you know, all these little facets that you go down through your life of listening. And if you can get really good at sounding like you, then I think that's when you have something, and that's when you have to decide, am I in a position in life, and am I in a position in my mental health to pursue this and go, I've got to do it because I've found my voice and I need to like work it out. And whether that's recording, whether that's on the road, whether that is going to as many open mics as you can to get as much experience, speaking your voice, singing your voice, playing your voice. That's what it's all about. And you, my friend, have a good, and say something with it. I agree.
Say something with it, you know?
Say something with it, for sure.
I think like knowing you, that you do like sessions and stuff, and like, you know, like I can't wait for NAMM because we're jamming at the Vintage.
Dude.
Like, you know, that's happening.
Deal.
Right?
Deal.
But
For sure.
like one thing I love about Session Dudes that I think is so cool, dude. Like there's something that's so cool about being able to bring a realness and a uniqueness to someone's vision and like making it more communal. You know?
That's like you're describing what I call serve the song.
Yes.
You got to serve the song, you know, and that's my job, and that's what I've learned how to do in songwriting and sessions. But that's, you know, like I can come up with an idea, but what I love more and what I'm better at and what I've had more practice at is there's the idea people that are able to, out of nowhere, decide parameters for a song, for a piece of art. And then I'm the kind of person who I thrive when I go, you have created these parameters and that's magic. And then we can create something within those parameters. And that's again, this is what I call serve the song. You gotta, the song,
you have to.
the boss, and you follow that. Dude, I feel like, yeah, we got to jam at NAMM.
I'm down. It's going down, man.
We got to jam at NAMM. All right. Last thing I want to do, I want to talk about gear a little bit. What are your favorite pieces of gear? You are a vintage guitars artist, which is cool. I have you're going to have to remind me. It's the 335 style.
VSA 500.
Yes. I have one from Vintage Guitars that they gave me in like 2017 or 18.
Nice.
And I freaking love it. It is an incredible guitar. Yours, if I remember right, you've got like a Black Beauty triple pickup.
Yeah, I've got like a lot of their guitars.
Yeah.
So my signature one from them, I have it's a VSA 5003 is what they're naming it. So it's a Black Beauty. It's like a 335 style. It's got 3 pickups. I have it set. I actually just changed how I have it set. So the neck pickup is independent. The middle position is all 3 pickups are active, and then bridge is the middle and bridge are active. And
cool.
Baritone instead of a tone knob.
Gotcha.
I could have had both, but I was like, I'm only going to use one or the other.
Yeah.
So,
Baritone is very cool.
Dude, I love baritones, and especially like sometimes I'll do looper sets. Like, you know, coffee shop gigs or whatever.
Yeah,
and
man.
Like, you set it to 1 and like you just start playing the bass lines on it because it takes away the bass, which is hilarious, but it also brings the dynamic down.
Yeah.
And so when you throw on like on a looper pedal, you make it like on the bass setting, it helps open it up and breathe a little more. So
that's super cool.
For recording, if you have to double do a guitar, instantly you just hit the baritone, it's a whole new guitar, and now you've got like all the tones. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And I throw a P90 in the middle now because I love P90s.
Nice. P90 in the middle. So humbucker in the neck and bridge, P90 in the middle.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's a shout out to Alvin Lee because he had his 335 with and I was like, I want to do that but fatter. And I was like, P90. Yeah. And my main is it's my natural colored VSA 500 with, it was originally, it's more like a casino, which, fun fact, casinos and 335s, they're where the body connects to the board, you get more space on a 335 style. Fun fact. I didn't know that until like a couple weeks ago when I was looking at photos and was like, that's why it's so hard to get those higher notes on that one. But
yeah, it's where they join to the body. And then also, I can't remember this about the vintage. So like casinos are hollow all the way through.
Correct.
335 has a block in the middle.
So some of the vintage VSA 500 MPs, I believe is the name of that one, are full hollow. I believe they're the older ones. A lot of the newer ones, they just use a lighter wood, a much lighter wood.
Gotcha.
So it's still center blocked, but it has a lighter wood. It feels like it's hollow, and it resonates like it too, which is dope.
Very cool.
The one I have has a Powertron for the neck and a P90 for the bridge.
Nice.
I was.
That's a great combo.
It does a lot, especially if you want to get into songs like Gravity or something like that and get those sweet warm tones. Like it slays that. As far as amps, I'm an Orange fan. I'm definitely I was originally a Thomas Blug endorsee, and I still love his amps. Thomas Blug amps are dope. They're like he's the pioneer for foot pedal amps.
Dude, yeah.
Him and Quilter, like
The blue guitar amp.
Yes, blue guitar amps. The Mercury edition and the first one that he had was where I got my start with them, and they were cool. I ended up kind of gravitating away from the sound I was getting there. Mm-hmm. The Iridium is awesome. I just don't have the Iridium, and I haven't spoken to him yet to get one. So I was in Scotland and I used a backline, and on that backline it was an orange Super Crush 120, which I didn't know was solid state.
Yeah.
So, and it was like the best I sounded on tour. So I was like, I'm getting one of those. So I got back and I grabbed one, and I was like, in solid state. And I was like, whatever, I'm loving the tone. So,
dude, at the end of the day, like, if the tone is good, it is good. If it sounds good, it is good.
John Fogerty from Clearance Crew Auto Revival, custom, something with a K, not just custom, but it's a custom brand, something, solid state amp on like 80% of their records. So I mean, solid state's fine. It was that's that. I've
got a couple solid state amps here that are my favorite. There's like 70s old. It's analog. There's a difference between solid state and digital.
Yes.
It you know, to be honest, also I'm sitting right next to an Axe FX 3 that I love, and I have recorded the last 15 to 20 songs from the Axe FX. It's legit. It all serves a purpose.
Exactly. And it's how
takes it to a different place
with you and how you play and how it sounds. Like, if it's good tone, it's good tone.
Yeah. If it sounds good, it is good. But that orange also, Glenn Fricker on YouTube, I think he was playing that one at 42 Gear Street, and that's more of like a metal channel. But he was talking about, like, he just did this huge test of that right next to a Soldana.
Yes,
100 watt.
I saw that
and
video.
Right next to like a Rev generator or something. And like, the thing is, if it sounds good, it is good. Like, it
is good.
You know, so that's sick, dude.
Yeah, man. And then for pedals, let's see. I go. I actually put the tuner in the middle now, so I go into a Is it Walrus Audio? No, it's a. Hold on, I got the sticker on the back of this thing. It's the Earthquaker Devices, the super more better cranker, the orange one.
Super cranker,
Super cranker. Awesome, so I have that, and then I run into a Joyo, the American tone, which I didn't know was an amp in a box type thing because it was a $25 pedal. It was like Sam Ash. I got it like on a deal, and I was like, all right, and I was like, oh, cool, and you can make it sound like a really dope fuzz. Like, I had it super fuzzed out for a while. And then I saw the videos that were coming out on it, and I was like, oh, Joyo pedals. Like, I see you. Yeah. Changed it all up. Now it's my go-to overdrive tone, which I found out I like a mid-scoop, for those who are curious. I didn't. Cool. I thought I was a mid-push guy. I'm a mid-scoop guy. It is what it is.
There you go.
I have a MXR bass octavizer, the mini, because that just gets those just awesome. And I wrote the song that's really sad. Who You Fooling? You listen to Who You Fooling. At the end of that, I use the octavizer on that one.
Dude, yeah. Bass octave is sick.
I got a tuner, and then I have a Vibe, MXR Univibe, got a Holy Grail reverb, and yeah, that's my pedal chain, man.
Yeah, dude, that covers a lot of ground right there. That's awesome. I mean, that orange head, you can take that to many different places. That's super
what I
cool,
do.
man.
You know, I like to be dynamic.
Yeah, dude. I mean, anybody who's watched some of my demos and videos and stuff, I'm all about dynamics. That's my jam, and I want overdrive, but I want it to be very, very dynamic, so it goes from pretty clean to very compressed, depending on how hard I dig in, you know. So dynamics is kind of at the forefront of my mind when I'm thinking about tone. But dude, that's sick. All right, before we're done here for today, why don't you tell us what the name of the new album is, if you can share the name of it, and one more time, House of Blues on April the 13th, doors at 6. You're in the Parish Room House of Blues Anaheim on Friday the 13th. And that's right smack dab in the middle of NAMM this year. That's awesome.
NAMM Kickoff Jam, April 13th, Friday, House of Blues. Get your tickets. We'll put a link here. I got it all over my socials. Darnell Cole Music for Instagram. The name of the new album is going to be called A Man of Soul. A Man of Soul. So
nice.
Look out for that. Yeah, I'm really excited. It's a 9-song album. We'll have it on sale. And like I told people on mine, if you want the full album all at once, you gotta come to the show.
Nice. Dude, it was so great to chat with you. And I look forward to doing this again. Maybe we can figure out an excuse to, I don't know, find some topics to chat about again. I dig your vibe, man. I really dig your music. I can tell you passionately care about the exchange that happens between creating something and that being healing to somebody else. And I can appreciate that, that you're doing it, you're loving what you're doing. And I would encourage you to keep doing that. And, just be out there, be present, be honest. You can hear that honesty in your music. I can't wait to hear your album. At NAMM, it's going to go down. We're going to jam. We're going to connect.
And thank you again for having me on the show.
Dude,
again,
absolutely.
If this makes the cut, everybody listening, like, follow, and share this dude, man. I'm serious. He's doing something good for the community, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Man, what a great dude. It was great to connect with Darnell in this interview. Check out his singles as he releases those from his album that's debuting. He's doing the album debut show the same night we're playing at NAMM, doors at 6, House of Blues in Anaheim in the Parish Room. He's going to be playing the whole album front to back. Super stoked for that. Check out his music. Check out all his socials. Great dude. Let me know if there is someone that you love, a musician, a guitarist that is independent, living their dream, creating authentic music that you would love to be on this channel. I would love to create a new series where I'm interviewing musicians and just talking about what it's like being a musician in this day and age, even if you're not on the Billboard Top 100 or you don't have Grammys, what it's like pursuing your dream, following your passions. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this style of video, so suggestions of other artists to interview. If you want to support me, one way to do that is to go to Songfinch, follow the link down below, and I will write and record a custom song for you about your relationship, about anything that you want. That is the best way to support me. Be on the lookout for some new merch. Hopefully I'll be releasing some more music as we get closer to this debut album of mine being done. Thank you so much for watching. I've been really enjoying the communication, talking to you guys through the comments. This is a really cool community that we're building here. Share this with other people that you think would enjoy Darnell's music, other people that you think would enjoy the content on this channel. And until next time, I've been Colin.